Can you shed any light on why the fraud got so out of control in Minnesota?
I think what happened is that, when you have these kind of new programs that are designed to help people, you're oftentimes relying on third parties to be able to facilitate. And I just think that a lot of the COVID programs that were set up, they were set up so quickly that a lot of the guardrails did not get created.
The president has always had very bigoted, xenophobic, Islamophobic comments when it comes to, people who are of Muslim faith or people who are black. We've seen him call African nations as holes, and so it's not really surprising. But what is weird to me is just how creepy he's been obsessed with me and the Somali community.
I'm watching the clip of Omar. This is somebody that fled this, terrible country, no rights, and then she comes to the United States and uses our freedoms to try to make us more like the country she fled. How the hell does that make any sense? And why did we, over many decades as a government, obviously, not me or current Trump administration, but what had happened to bring in so many people who really don't necessarily want to assimilate? And I think some of these candidates who run there talk about they're not America first, but Somali first. So it's really a failure of the elites in this country with how they've handled immigration, particularly by putting Americans last.
Well, they say it's racist if you say that all these Somalis stole $1 billion.
Yeah, the race card is what they're trying to do to evade accountability. They'll say you're racist. They'll say you're, quote, Islamophobic. If you question why some of these folks have no interest in assimilating into American society. And I think people, particularly in Republican side and the conservative side, I think we're beyond where they can just sling the race card out and people should be scared of that. That's what they'll do. That's their default. But I don't think people are buying it anymore.
We have heard what Ilhan Omar has to say, and I think from a perspective of, from my perspective, I feel like she's deflecting from the actual questions and from what American people, and I guess Trump is also asking, and what the American people are telling you they're worried about, because the American people are talking about the frauds, the fraudulent activities. They're talking about how there has been a robbery of their taxpayers' money. They are talking about how you have lied, or the people of your community have lied and taken money from America to send it to their homes, and instead of actually sending back to homes where there are people who are in need, all in the name of sick kids, sick mothers, a failing government, they actually pocketed this money. And after they were stealing that money, they were pocketing it. That has nothing to do with Islamophobia. It has nothing to do with racism. It has nothing to do with your culture and your norms. It just has to do with your behavior. That is what Americans are telling you. And I think to deflect from the point and actually go straight to racism, go straight to Islamophobia, go straight to, lack of feminism in America, it's crazy to me, because it looks like you're not actually talking about what the American people, because I know you can hear the American people loud and clear. You can hear what they're asking, you can hear what they're telling you, and you know what they're, concerned about, but you're choosing not to talk about that.
He's always been a racist, a bigot, a xenophobic, and Islamophobic. We know that he called African nations a shithole in his first administration. We know that when he came down that escalator, he said he was going to stop Muslim immigration into this country. And so it is not surprising that he is going after black immigrants in this country. And it's certainly not surprising that he's choosing a black immigrant community that is also Muslim. But what I would like to say is that most of us are citizens. On our passport, it says we are nationals of this country. We love that Minnesota has welcomed us. Many of us have not been settled in Minnesota. We chose it as a home because the Minnesota people and the state is beautiful. and very welcoming, and we are going to be here regardless of what the president has to say.
Enough to understand that members of Congress can't be impeached. You know, when you have Nancy and Randy saying, you know, we're on it, we're going to impeach her, when they're saying they're going to deport me, knowing full well that you cannot deport an American citizen.
What do Muslims here in Minnesota think about Ilhan Omar?
Okay, so you got to understand, this is somebody that uses Islam for a sort of political gain, you know? She advertises as a Muslim, you know, as a Muslim person that's helping the Muslim people in the community that she's representing. But we also see her upholding different views that are in conflict with core Islamic beliefs. Personally, and much of the community here would have that same agreement here.
What is she saying that you guys don't agree with?
Okay, first of all, when it comes to like LGBTQ people, we as Muslims don't believe any other person that's not any other person, no matter what they practice, should be held to a lower standard, should be given less respect. But in Islam, there's permissibility and there's not. We gotta keep in mind, you are not allowed to do certain acts, such as same-sex marriage, which she's in support for. You know, you gotta understand, same-sex marriage is incompatible with Islam, no matter how much you twist it, no matter how much you can beautify it. In every way, the final word was sent from God, and that outweighs whatever political opinion that you may have, whatever bias that you may have.
Millions of people from around the world have been eager to call themselves American citizens. And over the course of that time, they've made this nation a better nation, a stronger nation, a safer nation in their own communities. But quite frankly, my friends, we don't feel like we've been getting that from the Somali community here in Minnesota. Now, if you want to come here and live here as Americans, we welcome you. But if you want to come here and stay as Somalis, what that, my friends, has never happened in the course of American history, where a people have rejected their host nation, taken advantage of their privileges and their generosities, and then reject that citizenship and the notion of free market enterprise, their loyalty to this nation. That's never happened. And it will not happen as we move forward.
Ilhan Omar, the cracks are beginning to show. Now that you are on Trump's radar, I think you are starting to become very afraid. You're starting to panic. It looks like you are terrified and you feel some sense of threat. And honestly, you should be. I would like to point out and comment on the last statement that you made in that interview, but I'd also like to correct you on some few things. Yes, you are correct. American citizens cannot be deported, but what you failed to mention is that there are two types of American citizens. You failed to make that distinction. They are natural-born citizens and they are naturalized citizens, which you and I fall under that category. Both you and I are naturalized citizens, you being a Somalian and I am a Zambian. We became naturalized citizens because we satisfied the requirements needed to pursue citizenship through a legal process. We applied for naturalization because we satisfied all the requirements needed by immigration in order for us to pursue to become citizens. Natural-born citizens cannot be deported. Why? Because they were born here. However, naturalized citizens, we can get our citizenship revoked through a denaturalization process. And how that can come about is if we are being pursued criminally or civically. And it has to go through the federal courts. When they start civil or criminal proceedings, that's where we can run the risk of having our citizenship revoked. Now, you on the other hand, you are being pursued criminally because it's been alleged that you had committed acts of fraud when it came to applying for your citizenship, for your naturalized citizenship. You had made some statements which were misrepresented, or you had omitted facts, or you did not tell the truth when it came to applying for your citizenship. Now this alleged information has come about that you had lied on your application. That is why you're being pursued criminally. And that's how you may face being deported or having your citizenship revoked because of those things. The problem with you, Ilhan, is I think you've gotten way too comfortable. To be honest with you, you're very cocky. You're taking this whole thing for granted. The fact that you are in this country, let me tell you something. Being a U.S. citizen, especially being a naturalized U.S. citizen, that is a privilege. It's not a right. I have a privilege, and I am proud and I am happy. I am grateful that I was awarded and I was afforded that opportunity to be a citizen of this country. America didn't have to do that. They didn't have to grant me a citizenship because I've been in this country. So don't bite the hands that feed you. And for you to be so disrespectful to Trump, the way you talk about this man like he is shit under your shoe, is very disrespectful. Because guess what? You don't have to be here. He can have the right to pursue criminal proceedings to get you out of this country, because time and time again, your actions, the things that you say and you do, show that you are not a loyal citizen of this country. You don't deserve to be an American citizen. Why? Because you put your own country of Somalia first. Then you do this country that has afforded you the abilities, the privileges, and the access for you to even have a platform. Because the country that you come from Somalia, they oppress women. And you don't have the freedoms or the rights to talk the way you do. So if I were you, I would not bite the hands that feed you. And I would sit down and humble myself. Because right now what you're doing, Ilhan, you're not being humble. You're not showing gratitude. If it wasn't for America, where would you be right now? The very same country of Somalia that you're always crying about, that you put first, why aren't you there already? If that country is doing so much for you and it's the country that you love so much, why aren't you pursuing your pursuance there? Why aren't you there? But no, you want to take America for granted. The country that has awarded you the wealth, the platform for you to have a position in government. But this is how you shit on America like this? No, you don't deserve to be a citizen. And I really do hope that Homeland Security, they start to do thorough investigations so that they can get you out of here. Because you have time and time again taken advantage of this country. Some of your shady dealings that you've done, committing fraud, embezzling money, all these things, getting your community who are also committing acts of fraud. You are perpetuating that. You are at the forefront. Now you want to shit on America, the very same country that has done a lot for you? How dare you? How dare you? Who are you? You would be nothing. It's so annoying because you get people like myself who really have so much respect for this country and are so satisfied and so appreciative of what America has done. You're not worthy. You're not worthy to be in office. You're not worthy to have that title of being a congresswoman. You don't deserve to be here. You need to go. Ilhan, you need to go. I'm tired of the level of disrespect that you show Americans. I'm tired of the level of disrespect that you show our president time and time again. Go back to Somalia. Go back. If it's that much pressing that you don't want to be here or you love Somalia, go back.
Acting like you don't understand the concerns of American people, then deflecting from the questions that you are asked, because the questions are, why did, the fraudulent activities continue without you guys knowing about it and actually putting a stop to it? Why did that happen and you did not do anything about it? Those are the questions. But instead of answering those questions, you're going again and talking about how, you're not going anywhere. America is your land. America is your country. That is just your land and you're not going anywhere, and Americans have to deal with that fact. Forgetting the fact that you are, at the end of the day, you are in another people's country. Yes, you are a permanent resident, and that is fine, meaning you can also call that country your country as well. But how do you act in the country that has accepted you, has opened doors for you, and has given you the opportunity to even represent other Muslim people? Mind you, America did not have to open its gates, did not have to open its doors, did not have to even allow you to have the same opportunities as the normal American people. To even have a state that you can call home, and literally because most of your people are, the higher majority of people in Minnesota. So to have that and then do fraudulent activities, then be asked about it, and then you run back to racism, you run back to, the stereotypical norms that, will get people talking instead of actually talking about what is the problem, what kind of illegal activities your people are doing is the wrong way to deal with things. And I know that you do understand what people are talking about, but you're choosing not to. And I like that there was one of the men of the Islam community who talks about how they don't support what she's doing. Because in the midst of every other Somali person, supporting her, you have to admit that there are some of the things that she does that are, crazy, that are not maybe according to your religion, that are not according to the laws of your new country, in America. And to use Islam as a scapegoat so that you can avoid to answer certain things and start telling people, because you want me out of your country, it means you're an Islamophobic. Because you want me out of your country, it means you're a racist. That's not the point. And running back to these tactics instead of actually dealing with what you guys are actually doing in another people's country is not right. It is not okay. Because for you to even be elected and to hold a seat, it means that people voted you in because they knew that you could articulate yourself, you could speak for yourself and for your community. Now, being asked these questions about how fraud went on for this long, and apparently nothing was heard about it until, it burst out, and every American knew that you guys were stealing billions of their taxpayers' money. And instead of actually sending it to help your friends and family back at home, you were putting it back to yourselves. You were putting it in your pockets, and you were using the names of, hungry kids, dying kids. You were using the names of, dying mothers, bad government, bad governance in your country. Taking this empathy, taking this sympathy from people who genuinely want to help you, then turning it into now an attack when they're telling you that what you did was not okay, and then now you're saying that they're attacking you and you're not going anywhere and they need to deal with you being there. That kind of pride is out of this world. Like, it is okay to have pride. Anyway, if you do not have pride, it means that you don't have a stand. And yeah, everyone has to have pride. Everyone has to have a stand. But mind you, you're not being told these things out of the blue. You're not being told to get out, to allow these people to be sent back to their country because they were being good citizens, because they were being good people. And there's also this other concern that American people have. They're talking about how, you guys have failed to assimilate, to actually open a bit of your doors to accept or incorporate some of these American people's, ways of life. They're not saying that you should throw away yours. They're just saying that you are in a different country. How about you share some of the things that they have? Because they have given you some of their things. They have given you land, they've given you the ability to have so many things, have jobs, open jobs, actually own businesses, get employed, own land, own houses, buy cars. Like, you are able to live as a normal American person could or has or is living like, and not wanting to assimilate with these people, not wanting to open your doors to every other American, just probably the ones who are in your state, is kind of where also another problem is coming from. Because if you come into someone's country, you would expect that you would at least learn to communicate in their language so that you can be able to, communicate well, not throw away your language. That is not the point. Americans are not saying throw away your cultures, stop doing whatever you are doing, drop down your flags, or throw away your language, everything that you do, the way you eat, the way you do things. That's not what they're saying. They're just saying that you could try and accommodate this new environment that you're living in, you could try. Since anyway, if you are staying in Somalia, it is in the around the equator. I think the equator passes at a part of Somalia, because they're right above Kenya, and I am from Kenya. So because it passes right above, right below the country, it means that it's a very tropical area. Like, the weather is not too harsh. It's actually good because we don't really experience, heavy snow. We don't experience that many heavy rains. Like, the weather is good. So coming from a country like Somalia, then traveling all the way to America, where there is obviously winter, there is obviously this extreme or this difference in weather, it means that you have to also change how you are living, from how you are living in your country to how you're going to live in this new country. If they have winter, you're going to have to wear certain clothes. If they have extreme sun, there's a way that you're going to have to change, probably some of the ways that what you were wearing before, So just the same thing, the way you would change because of your environment, because of the climate that you have now, is the same way that Americans are asking you to incorporate them, or incorporate some of the things that they do into your daily lifestyle. Because at the end of the day, you are saying that you're American. Yeah, right? That's why you're saying that it is your land. You're not going anywhere. So you are American, right? So if you are, why not try and be part of America? You want to be American, why not try to be part of America? You cannot move from Somalia, go to America, then say that I am Somali and I will not be an American, but I will stay in this land because I'm an American. But when it comes to other things, I am Somali, but in terms of citizenship, I'm American, like... Because now it doesn't make sense, It doesn't make sense to some point. And if the tables were turned and the American people, for example, came to your country maybe to seek refuge, and you found out that they were frauding your people, would you take it the same way? And then the Americans start saying that they're not going anywhere. That is their land, that is their country, and you cannot do anything about it. You cannot send them back because it is what it is, and you have to deal with it. How would you feel? How would you feel? Having pride is not a problem, but where are you putting this pride in? Where are you putting this pride in? You're using it for the wrong purposes. There are times to go down, there are times to go up, and sometimes it's okay for you to keep quiet. Respectfully, sometimes it's okay for you to keep quiet, or actually understand where these people are coming from, instead of jumping into conversations or saying or dropping these names that will have people talking, like Islamophobia and racism and feminism and all that. Like, it's not the way to go for everything. Like, there are times that makes sense, but for this one it doesn't, because you will not be getting attacked, or you'll not be put under a microscope by the American people if you are doing right. Otherwise, why haven't American people talked about you before? Why have they now talked about you now? Why are you now a topic right now? Because of the fraud. Otherwise, you were living happily without anyone caring, But now you have been found out that you're doing certain things. You're doing illegal activities. You're taking advantage of the place that opened its doors for you. So think about that and then change your ways, because you are, at the end of the day, in other people's land. And having pride and speaking in ways that are rude to some extent and, kind of not well thought out, is crazy. It's not the road to take. It's not the road to take right now, I believe. But I'd like to hear what you have to say. So kindly comment. What do you think about this particular topic? Do you agree with me, or do you agree with the lady? Do you agree with Ilmar? What do you think about her comments? What do you think about maybe my comments? I'd like to interact with you in the comment section below, and make sure that you do come back. I'd like to see you again, so make sure that you subscribe, and I'll see you then.